Little did he know that he would be recalled to the Navy, and he ended up becoming a flight engineer for the seaplanes to keep the seaplanes operating. He met my mother, Betty. Let me introduce Betty. Hi. And my mom, Betty. At the University of Maryland, the Theta Chi House was directly across the street from her sorority. They married in 1951. Quickly thereafter, my sister and I were born. And then we were all allowed to attend his graduation from the University of Maryland in 1955. He finished up and he got a BS from the University of Maryland in mechanical engineering. And actually his father and brother were also engineers too. He began working for NOL, which became later known as the Naval Surface Weapons Lab. While he was there, he received awards and patents, and you can see one of the patents here on the table for actually the bombs that he created there. In 1957, when I was 5 and my sister was 3, we moved to Brunswick Avenue, which I think you all know that address. The poor man had to always keep busy. He finished the basement, he added a bathroom downstairs, and then he supervised the addition on the back of the house. If anybody knows my dad, you know how he supervises. He was a longtime member here at Argyle Country Club. It was one of his favorite places to come. And also he was a very active member. He was on a lot of the golf committees and the swimming team committees, and was a timer at the swim meets where my sister and I swam. After working for 31 years at the Naval Surface Weapons Labs, he retired at the age of 57. And then he started golfing and wintering in Fort Lauderdale, coming down to see me a month or two every winter. And that is the end of his PMS era. Then he met Marilyn. And I just want to add a few things some of the memories about my dad. And in the springtime, he never was happy unless he had a project going. And that's when he really was the happiest. And he did a great job on all his projects. In the springtime every year, one of the first things that would happen, he'd drag that picnic table out, get his sander out, and sand it down and revarnish it so we'd have the picnic table for the summer. Every Thursday, his lawn would be cut, and he would cut down the crocuses that someone planted in the hill, because he didn't want to go around the crocuses with his lawnmower. We know who that was that planted those crocuses. He was home every day between 5:05 and 5:07 every day. You can count on that. You can set your watch by it. And every hot summer day, first thing he'd do is come in, put on his shorts, get the hose out, and hose down the front brick in the house to cool the house off. That was his idea. He didn't want to use too much electricity, so he'd get out there with his hose every day. He was known for being a master on the grill. He made a mean, rare hamburger and made perfect grilled corn on the cob. Also in the summer, one of our favorite nights was a whiskey sour night, which we shared with the Johnses and the Nelsons. And we would sit on the front lawn with our lawn chairs. My dad would make us frozen whiskey sours. All the kids would get about this much, with a few cherries in it, and we just would love that. In the fall, his precious zoysia grass would turn brown, and he would have to get out there on a calm weekend day and burn it. I don't know if you've ever seen anybody do that, but for some reason, he thought it kept it healthy, and he always had a perfect lawn. So he'd be out there, and we'd all have our brooms and make sure we didn't get out of control in the hoses. In the winter, he always had to have projects too. I can remember him down in his workshop. He built his own stereo system from a kit, and we still have it if anybody would like to purchase it. And the other big activity he did every year is he would take these V8 movies, and he would get together and splice them all together. He would start at Christmas every year, and then it would go through the year. And if you don't mind, I'll be showing those before you leave. There's about 15 of them. So we have a movie of every year. We never, ever had a repairman in our house. I never remember a repairman. We never took our cars in for service. My dad always got the car that didn't work. All of us would leave and leave him the car that didn't work. And just very quickly, I'd really like to express, where is Marilyn? Hi, Marilyn. My sister Pamela and I would like to express our thanks to you for marrying my dad, keeping him so happy, so entertained, and as healthy as he could be with all of his ailments. And Marilyn, I mean, she was a gift to all of our lives in our family, and I thank you very much because it was a big deal to me. My dad would be really pleased to see so many people here to say goodbye to him. I think he even surprised himself by living to the age of 87. I know that he didn't think. Whenever we would say to him, ask him about his services after he died, he always said the same thing to us. I don't care, I'll be dead. So I'd like for you to enjoy my dad's last treat here at Argyle Country Club. And thanks again for being here. My sister Pamela has a few stories she'd like to share.
Hi, I'm Pamela, Dick's second daughter. My name was actually going to be Richard. They were expecting a boy. So thus, I was sort of cast into a role of assisting my father with a lot of his engineering projects. I would have my head under the car engine, and when I married my husband, John, he told me he was really quite embarrassed because I would pull my car up on the curb and change the oil and tune the car up. So one of our other projects I remember very distinctly is when my father was installing an antenna on the house. I was up on the roof with him. And my sister and I spent many years in gymnastics, and I said to my father, that doesn't look very long, jumping off a 2-story house. And he goes, it's not. So I said, okay. So I proceeded to jump off the house and tumbled out onto his zoysia grass, which was just like a carpet. But my father was always a very fun person to be around. And one of the things that I remember very distinctly when Susie and I turned into teenagers, we occupied the bathroom for really long periods of time, and he finally got sick of it and went downstairs and built himself his own bathroom. So another thing that I can recall that was very funny, when he would be sleeping in the morning, Susie and I would go in there, and we would imitate his snoring. We would snore along with him, and then we would disrupt the rhythm, and his whole rhythm of snoring would be going. So I really don't know how he survived the 3 women in his life during that period. But at any rate, so I guess I just wanted to tell a few light stories, and thanks so much for coming. We really appreciated that everyone came together for my father to celebrate this event. Thanks.